First of all, I want to congratulate Coach McMahon and LSU. They like we did suffered a really difficult loss yesterday, but bounced back, had his team ready to play. If they get all their pieces, I think they'll be a team that can be good in the SEC. Obviously, their front line's really good, and I think that was probably the difference in the game. Ultimately, was their ability to finish balls close to the basket, and we had a harder time with that. But you got to give them credit, their length, their physicality. They do a good job of keeping the ball out of the paint. Statistically, if you look at them, it's what they give up the most is kick out threes. And when we were making them, I felt like that's when the game was going our way. But the biggest difference to me was their ability to finish balls around the basket and our inability to do that.
You mentioned the three-point shots. Did you like the looks y'all were getting and the way the offense was able to generate that shot?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I thought we had some really good ones that we missed. And again, credit to them, that's what they do. If you look at them from a metric standpoint, they really defend the paint, they switch a lot, they keep everything in front of you, and they give kick out threes. And for the most part, when I felt like when we made the simple play, we got good looks. Of course, there's a couple times, like any game, you have a decision back here or there, but for the most part, I felt good about the ones we shot, and truthfully, I thought a couple guys should have shot a couple more that they turned down, and then turned it into a harder shot.
Rubin, what did you see offensively inside the arc when y'all tried to run ball screens or just try to get in the paint?
I mean, they plug gaps real good, so getting downhill is like a lot of hands in there. So just being strong with the ball was just one of the biggest keys coming into this game. When we did be strong with the ball, we got wide open shots. When we didn't, turnover lead to fast breaks.
What did you think about y'all's defensive effort and even on the rebounding side against a team with that much size?
I think we did pretty good for rebounding. I mean, we had a couple key plays where we missed block outs and they just had putbacks. Little small stuff like that, just keys to winning.
Coach, how did they make it tough for Aaron to get going tonight?
They have good size and good length and across the board. So, typically when you're able to kind of like get them in some mismatch situations, sometimes there's a point guard, but their collective length, when they did switch, they were switching, number 6, and he's physical, and they got up underneath him. And truth is, he had some really good looks. They just didn't go his way, and it's part of, evolution of a really good player and moving up, and things have kind of went his way to start the entire season, and it just didn't get him to go. But he had good looks. I did think, he lost his way a little bit defensively. They let his offense impact his defense just a little. But those are things that he'll learn and he'll grow from.
Yeah, I mean, playing St. John's and LSU first 2 games, just how big are these 2 games to obviously take the steps where you want to be?
I mean, again, credit to them, credit to LSU, credit to St. John's. They made the plays at the end, but we're pretty disappointed. If we're being perfectly honest. So felt like I had an opportunity to win both games and just couldn't make the play. Whatever the play was in the last 4 minutes, whether it was a stop, whether it was a rebound, whether it was a basket, we just couldn't get it to go. But that's the part of playing in these early season MTEs. You're playing really good teams every single night, and that's why we've scheduled the way we did, so there won't be any confusion or falseness or a false sense of security. Again, we could be sitting here 4-0, playing all, Ken Palm sub 250 net teams, and you can create a falseness of what you really are. Well, this you learn from, you grow from, and it prepares you for what conference play is going to be and what basketball is like in March.
And Rubin, just for you as a veteran, a leader in the locker room, just what have you seen over the past couple of days? Just how keeping your team up, and obviously with the game on Sunday.
Little stuff like keeping tight huddles, even when stuff going bad. Keeping tight huddles, everybody looking each other in the eyes, talking about what's going on the court. When we go on those laps, it's probably like the talking goes down a lot. But we offensive or defensive, offensively or defensively, when we not talking, it's bad out there. So I'm just trying to keep the guys connected, keep everybody on the same page, just keeping a positive headspace.
Coach, how did LSU prepare you? Obviously, coming off a year where you had the #1 scoring defense in the country, how did they prepare you for having a first year in the American where you're going to have a lot of really good offensive competition?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we their front line. So obviously, Will Baker puts a lot of stress on your defense,
Of course.
and you know, when I go back and watch the tape, maybe could have done some things to keep him off balance a little bit more. But it's kind of the trade-off. You know, they were only 4 of 13 from 3, and I think the difference in the game, in my opinion, was number 20, was Fountain, in his ability to drive the ball from the perimeter and make layups and get the ball close to the basket. So, yeah, man, they're a tough team to guard. We knew they could be really good in transition, and obviously Will Baker's played a lot of basketball, and he made some really tough shots, man. I mean, I thought there was a handful of times we played really good defense on him. Even the last play that he made, it was kind of a busted play. Ball rattles to him, and he shoots a turnaround fadeaway jumper, and credit to him.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Appreciate it, Coach.